There we go. Hello, welcome to a brand new episode of Dylan Knows, episode 641, Conformity Gate. It is 11:25 p.m. here on Saturday, January 10th, 2026. Yes, it is already the 10th of January. It's crazy. It's a brand new episode. 2026 has continued to be the shittiness of 2025, added to 2026 now. But there's some good news that came up out of this week's pop culture news. The NFL playoffs are starting this week, and the Ravens will not be in it. We can talk a little bit about that too, because I think I did the show before we did the Ravens story, so they didn't make it, obviously. But the Rams and Panthers did. They played a game. They had quite a game against the Panthers. People thought it was going to be a cakewalk for them. The Panthers ended up not doing that. And the Bears just went ahead of the Packers with 1:43 left. So that's interesting. They're up 31-27. The Rams beat the Panthers 34-31. So it's been two really good playoff games to start the night off. So tomorrow they'll have three more, and then Monday night would have been the Ravens won, but the Steelers end up winning. They'll be playing the Houston Texans on Monday Night Football. Ravens ravened as hard as they could. They lost 26-24 on a missed field goal by our rookie kicker, which would have put us ahead with 1 second left in the game and win the game 27-26. But he missed it. I don't completely blame him for everything because the defense played like shit. Lamar played like shit for mostly 2 to 3 quarters of this game until he got to the fourth quarter. They became Superman, where he scored 2 touchdowns, and should have been enough, but the Steelers came right back and scored touchdowns also because our defense sucks ass. So because of all that and the way it ended in disappointment, and we ended the season with 8-9, the Ravens have fired John Harbaugh as coach, which is fantastic. It's time to get some new blood in here. Yes, he was good for us. He was a good coach, and miss him a little bit, but it's time to move on. 18 years is a long time. So it's time to move on from him, and hopefully we'll get some good people out of this. A lot of awards. Award season is underway right now. The Golden Globes are tomorrow, so that should be interesting. I'm not going to go over. I went over the nominees. Then next week we'll talk about the winners, and then another week or two we'll have the Oscar nominations, which should be interesting. So we do have the Critic Choice Award winners, the BAFTA long list, which are, I think, their nominations were announced this week as well. And so all kinds of stuff going on. South Park is doing a Fortnite collaboration. It has started on Friday, and I played some today. It's not great. It's okay. There's only one POI, a new POI, and that's Cartman Land. And the Battle Bus plays the South Park theme, but that's it. Then there was a bundle you had to pay for with your V-Bucks to get all the skins, which I ended up doing because I wanted to get the skins. And there's a mini battle pass that's got nothing really exciting on it. It's got some, level up things, and it's got a new picture for your screen, and there's a new emote you can get also, but the rest of the time it's just kind of dumb sort of stuff. And your final award is a glider of the battle bus and South Park stuff. So it's not great. It's okay. Some new weapons in there and some new things coming on. I do like the Kenny medallion, where if you get that and you get knocked in a game, you will be rezzed without them being able to kill you, and then you'll have a gun and some heals on you so you come back and continue the fight. So I like that kind of a little bit, but that's really kind of about it. Also, it was a weird week for potentially fake story articles for, you could expect maybe certain actors to get the fake death stuff like that gets everybody going. But when, and this is one of the signs about how bad social media is. There was the same basic website, the same Facebook account, used pretty much the same picture, probably AI, of Ray Lewis and his mom and Adam Sandler and his mom on this beach, and they're like saying their last goodbyes, saying that Adam Sandler's mom died and Ray Lewis's mom died, and I haven't seen that anywhere else. Those are, you would see that maybe in the mainstream media as well, and you would see that type of stuff. So it's just weird that is passing now for AI stuff. Plus, another thing I saw is that Joe Flacco said that he was retiring, when retire as a Raven, so he was going to sign a one-day contract with the Ravens and retire as a Raven, which is what I expect him to do, but he didn't do it, despite what this article said. And that was on the Ravens Roost page, which was crazy that they might have been bought out by this. And if you read it, it was like for his 40th birthday, he decided to do this. He's 42 years old and still playing in the NFL. And I looked it up, and there was a recent interview with him that said that he might not be playing with the Bengals, but he still thinks he can be a presence in the NFL. He just can't give it up. And so he's not retiring. When he does, he will probably sign a one-day contract with the Ravens. I wouldn't doubt that, and retire Raven. I have no doubt about that. But it's just not happening, despite another one of these Facebook posts to do that. So continue to keep an eye on that, particularly with the advent of AI and stuff like that. And this also could be part of it too. Is Avengers Doomsday really going to be 3 hours and 45 minutes long? Again, I don't think they've officially announced a runtime for Avengers Doomsday yet. And I see a lot of these, and I've been able to skip most of them because it's obvious a lot of it is fan casting and fan hoping for stuff to happen, which devolves into Conformity Gate, which we'll talk about in a second. And I don't know if that's true. If it is, it would make sense, but I would assume if any movie was going to be 3 hours and 45 minutes, it would be Secret Wars, because there's going to be a whole lot of shit you're going to have to cover in that period. Whereas I think Doomsday, and what I heard also, I heard Doomsday and Secret War are going to be similar to Infinity War and Endgame, where Infinity War was like 2 hours and 2.5 hours long or something like that. And that's what I'm expecting Doomsday to be. And then Endgame was like 3 hours long. And I'm assuming that would be what Secret Wars would be. So I don't think it's 3 hours, 45 minutes long, but again, it's really weird to see all that. A city named Skopje, Macedonia, with 422,000 people, instituted speed camera fines. And on its first day, a quarter of the population got fined for speeding. Now, you could make the case that they weren't aware that speed cameras were there, but that just goes to show that a quarter of the 422,000 people who lived there, a quarter of them got flagged for speeding violations with these cameras. So that's pretty interesting. Here's something else also. Two new snack item things are touting raspberry rose flavor, which they say is raspberry with a rose. What is that? Like accent flavor. It's an essence of rose that is mixed with raspberry, and there's going to be a coffee creamer and a cake for Bridgerton. I guess it's a British thing, but and it also makes why. I've seen like lavender also is sort of a flavor you eat with food, like essence of. I mean, is that really something you want to eat? Is essence of flowers with your raspberry, particularly coffee creamers? Fruit coffee creamers are absolutely terrible ideas. You need something similar to coffee. You need to have like a chocolatey or caramelly or vanilla or nutty sort of flavors. A raspberry flavored, I mean, you can maybe make a case, but raspberry flavored coffee creamer just doesn't sound good. And then you add a essence of rose to it. And then you're doing that with a cake also for Bridgerton themed cake, a raspberry rose like spread. I was like, what are we doing here? Is there really people clamoring for fruits and flour mixed together as a flavor? I mean, it might taste good. I don't know. It just doesn't sound good to me. It really doesn't. Tom Cruise visited the set of Sean Levy's Starfighter, and Levy let him direct a lightsaber battle in the movie. So if you see that movie coming out in 2027 and you see a lightsaber battle, it's probably directed by Tom Cruise in the mud in the swamp. So that's kind of interesting. Ex-reality TV show star Spencer Pratt will be running for Los Angeles mayor. Sony is developing a new handheld that can play PS4, PS5, and PS6 games. So be on the lookout for that probably next year, probably not this year. First time in 25 years that not a single area of dryness was in California. So California in 1 year does not have any drought, which is really cool because they used to be terribly hit with droughts, pretty awful. An open world Lord of the Rings and Pokemon games are in the works, so that's interesting to see that. Open world games are always pretty good. Some casting news. Billy Bob Thornton and Ariana Greenblatt are set to star in Some Days. Kate Winslet says Mayor of Easttown Season 2 may be filming soon, but people are now suggesting it'll probably start filming probably in early 2027. So it's going to be a little while till we see that. Sebastian Stan has joined the cast of the Batman 2 along with Scarlett Johansson, and the rumors abounding about him is that he is going to be playing Harvey Dent, which actually is pretty good. And as I said, the people who are making the predictions and stuff like that, they think Scarlett Johansson is going to play his wife, and that they're going to flip the Two-Face and make Two-Face be Scarlett Johansson and let Sebastian Stan have to be the one that has to suffer through the stuff to try to save her and help her. So that could be interesting. Tegan Croft and Milo Manheim have been cast in a live-action Tangled movie, and Catherine Hahn has been approached and is in talks to play the role of Mother Gothel. Scarlett Johansson was originally interested in that, but apparently they are moving away from her. Crystal Lake, the prequel to the Friday the 13th movies, is set to hit Peacock in December. This is funny. I have a cousin-in-law named Emily Henry. And there's actually also an author by the name of Emily Henry. And her books, The Funny Story and Happy Place, are set to become Netflix movies. Sound to me like kind of romantic, Hallmark-esque sort of stories. So good on that. NASA has detected FM radio frequencies, from Jupiter's largest moon, which I believe is Europa. David Harbour has dropped out of Behemoth with Pedro Pascal, and Will Arnett has joined the cast in its place. The tide is kind of turning, hopefully, in the war against the Republican MAGA people. A member of the convict in charges, Gestapo, the ICE people, actually shot a woman in the head 3 times for no reason, and that has set off a huge thing also. So hopefully that'll start the ball rolling. Meanwhile, Iran, the women have finally said enough is enough. We are no longer conforming to your religious beliefs, and have taken off their hijabs and burned them, and have been burning down government buildings. And this is a coup. They're taking out the ruling class there. So we need to do something like that here soon. So maybe this is going to be the spark that sets that off also. We have award nominations, but I want to talk about something here real quick. The name of the episode was Conformity Gate, and I just need to get this off my chest real quick. Some of you out there are total fucking loser, moron, shithead, dumb fucks. So what if Stranger Things did not end the way that you wanted? or expected to, with that nobody died, and that Eddie didn't come back, and dragons didn't come in here, and Will and Mike fell in love, and what else? What else would be was on the plate that everybody wanted? I can't think of anything else right now, but the Duffers are the creators of the show. They wrote the show. They knew how it was going to go. This is their vision, and you have to deal with it. They're not going to change it because you guys are like, oh, it should have been this way. No, this is the story they wanted to tell. If you don't agree with it, fine. You can have your own headcanons. I don't give a fuck. This is how it ended. Stranger Things, episode 8 ended. The final season, final episode of the season on New Year's Eve ended exactly as it was supposed to. It was one of the best series finales of all time, in my humble opinion. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the perfect ending to Stranger Things, and has enough ambiguity there that you can use your imagination and your mind a little bit to try to fit the pieces together instead of having to have everything spelled out the fuck for you. Like, oh, what happened to this? How did that happen? Why a bunch of morons nitpicking over stupid, shitty little things? So Conformity Gate was something that came out that a lot of fans thought that the Duffers had made a secret 9th episode of Stranger Things, and that the happy grand finale of the 8th one that we saw was Vecna using his mind control on everybody, and he was still torturing them and killing them, because that's apparently what you want to see, is Vecna killing young kids and torturing them, because that's, to you, good storytelling, which is a bunch of fucking BS. So shut the fuck up. And that the Duffers were going to drop it on the 9th or the 8th, one of those. I think it was the 8th or 9th. It was the 8th, I think, Thursday the 8th. There were TikToks that said, "Oh, it's going to happen. Look at all the clues that are up there." And then there were people who obviously did AI stuff that showed their ship visions, AI stuff on TV screens as well. And then there were the people who were joking with it very well, where they sort of fixed it to make it look like that it was a new episode. And then they said, psych, type of thing, you dumb fucks. So that was kind of funny to see some of those. But there was a class of people out there who believed that there was going to be a secret 9th episode, and all their ships and all their dreams were going to come true, because how dare the Duffers tell a completely different story than what was in their fucking heads. And when it didn't come out, they're actually very, very quiet now, which I'm glad to. And everyone's making fun of them, as they should, because don't be fucking stupid. Use your imagination a little bit. Use your head cans. I don't give a fuck. This is the story. You don't like it? Tough shit. Oh, well, fuck you. You try to create your own series then. Why don't you create your own goddamn series and get to 5 seasons and have Netflix pay you millions of dollars and let it be a massive hit and have it your way? Go ahead and try it. I would love for you to try it. Go for it, man. We need art. But you're a dumb shit, and you're not going to do it anyway. You think other people should conform to you, and that's why we're in where we are in the country right now, because this country is fucking stupid right now. So Conformity Gate was just a absolutely stupid ass thing to even think about. And they made a good point also, is that if they indeed did create a secret 9th episode and released it on January 7th or 8th or whatever the fuck it was, they could get sued. And I mean that by saying they touted that the New Year's Eve episode was the last of their show, and movie theaters bought that and believed it was true and put in their movie theaters, charged people tickets, and it made $25 fucking million to people who wanted to watch the finale in an actual movie theater surrounded by other Stranger Things fans, which is awesome. I think it's great. And I'm glad they did it. I'm glad it made $25 million, because that shows Netflix has, that can also stick it to some of the people. It's like, oh, Netflix doesn't like movie theaters. Yeah, they fucking do. They just got $25 million on a finale of a TV show that's been going on for 10 years now. One episode, 2 hours long, of a TV show, final episode of a TV show, made $25 million fucking dollars. because people wanted to go out to the movie theater, see it on the big screen, and be surrounded by other Stranger Things fans. So if you and your stupid idiot friends believe that there was going to be a 9th secret episode that was due to come out on 1/8, and there actually was, and it was completely different, and what they saw on New Year's Eve was just a fake out, I guarantee you the people who went into the movie theater trying to have an experience would sue the fuck out of Netflix and the Duffer Brothers, because you said this was the grand finale, and now you're doing this stupid one on the 8th of a Thursday of all fucking days during the week, and not even putting it in a movie theater. You're dropping it right on Netflix. They could get fucking sued. The Duffer Brothers would never be able to do anything ever again, even though they jumped ship to Fox or Paramount or HBO Max, where the fuck they are. I don't know. God, you people are so fucking stupid. What is wrong with you? And that's not just for you guys. It's for everybody out there who has these terrible, horrible takes on everything that's going on right now. What the fuck is wrong with you? It's a rhetorical question. Do you know what fucking rhetorical means, you dumb shits? Probably not, because you're fucking stupid. Now, to those people who say, well, I just wanted one more episode of Stranger Things, is my favorite show of all time. But having a fake out episode where everything ended happily and then having everyone get fucking killed just to see Eddie maybe come back riding a fucking dragon, or Billy coming back and saving the day. Fuck you. If you were real fans, you would have probably loved the ending. It was exactly what was expected. It was a TV show that was an homage to the 1980s kids movies that were action, horror, sci-fi films, Explorers, Monster Squad, Goonies. All these shows and movies had the same sort of quality stuff to them. You had a group of young kids team up against a monster and defeat the monster. In these 1980 movies, these kids did not die. They beat the monster and they lived happily ever after. Get a fucking life. Get a fucking clue. Get some imagination. Stop looking at your goddamn phone and start using your head a little bit. Fuck you and your Conformity Gate. But not this episode of Dylan Knows called Conformity Gate. It's a completely different thing. Fucking idiots. All right. What's next? Awards. First up, the Critics' Choice Awards were given out today. The Bears officially beat the Packers 31-27. Bears and Rams move on to the next level of the playoffs. Critics' Choice Awards winners. There we go. Full winners list. Here we go. I don't know how long this is, so I'm just going to blow right through it. Best Picture, One Battle After Another. Best Actor, Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. Best Actress, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Ooh. Best Supporting Actor, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Yeah. Best Supporting Actress, Amy Madigan for Weapons. Best Young Actor, Actress, Miles Caton for Sinners. Best Director, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Best Original Screenplay, Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Best Adapted Screenplay, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Best Casting and Ensemble, Francine Meisler for Sinners. Best Cinematography, Adolfo Veloso for Train Dreams. Best Production Design, Tamara Deverell and Shane Viau for Frankenstein. Best Editing, Stephen Maroney for F1. Best Costume Design, Kate Hawley for Frankenstein. Best Hair and Makeup, Mike Hill, Jordan Samuel, Colonia Fury for Frankenstein. Best Visual Effects, Joe Lettieri, Richard Banaham, Eric Sandon, Daniel Barrett for Avatar, Fire and Ash. Best Stunt Design, Wade Eastwood for Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. Best Animated Feature, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Best Comedy, The Naked Gun. Wow. Best Foreign Language Film, The Secret Agent. Best Song, Golden by EJ, Mark Sonnenblick, Ido, 24, Teddy, K-Pop Demon Hunters. Best Score, Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. Best Sound, Al Nilsson, Gwendolyn Yates, Whittle, Gary A. Rizzo, Juan Peralta, and Garrett John for F1. Best Drama Series, now they do TV also, The Pit. Best Actor in a Drama Series, Noah Wiley for The Pit. Best Actress in a Drama Series, Rhea Seehorn for Pluribus. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama Series, Trammell Tillman for Severance. Best Supporting Actress in a Drama Series, Catherine Lanasa for The Pit. Best Comedy Series, The Studio. Best Actor in a Comedy Series, Seth Rogen for The Studio. Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Jean Smart for Hacks. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy Series, Ike Barinholtz for The Studio. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary. Best Limited Series, Adolescence. Best Movie Made for Television, Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy. Best Actor in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television, Stephen Graham for Adolescence. Best Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television, Sarah Snook for All Her Fault. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television, Owen Cooper for Adolescence. Best Supporting Actress in a Limited Series or Movie Made for Television, Erin Doherty for Adolescence. Best Foreign Language Series, Squid Game. Best Animated Series, South Park. Best Talk Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live. Best Variety Show, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Best Comedy Special, SNL 50, the Anniversary Special. And there's your Critics' Choice Award winners. Again, things are starting to get a little clearer when it comes to potential Oscar nominations and stuff like that. So keep an eye on a lot of these awards. That's probably my cat. I'm expecting my daughter hopefully to come home soon. Hope. The Directors Guild did their nominations for 2026. Theatrical feature film, the nominees are Paul Thomas Anderson, Ryan Coogler, Guillermo del Toro, Josh Safdie, Chloe Zhao. First-time theatrical film, the nominations are Hassan Hadi, Harry Leighton. Oh, I'm sorry, I should probably read these. Best theatrical film direct. These are all Directors Guild stuff. So best director for theatrical feature film, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle for Another. Ryan Coogler, Sinners. Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein. Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme. And Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. First time theatrical film director, Hassan Hadi for The President's Cake. Harry Leighton for Pilliam. Charlie Pollinger for The Plague. Alex Russell for Lurker. Ava Victor for Sorry Baby. Best director for documentary, Stislav Chernov for 2,000 Meters to Androvic. Gita Gandrabrin, The Perfect Neighbor, which is probably going to win. Mohammad Reza Enyi Sarakaki, and Mohammad Reza Ayeni, Cutting Through Rocks. Elizabeth Lowe for Mistress to Speller, Mark Abbenhaus, and Lauren Poultris for Cover Up. Dramatic Series directors, Lizzie Johnson for The Diplomat, Amanda Marsalis for The Pit, Janice Metz for Andor, Ben Stiller for Severance, John Wells for The Pit. Comedy Series director, Lucia Aniello, Hacks, Jenny Ziza, Bravo, The Bear, Seth Rogen, Evan Goldberg, The Studio, Christopher Storer, The Bear, Mike White, The White Lotus. Limited Series Anthology Series Director, Jason Bateman for Black Rabbit, Antonio Campos for The Beast and Me, Leslie Linka Glatter for Zero Day, Shannon Murphy, Dying for Sex, Ali Pankway, Black Mirror. Movies made for television, Jesse Armstrong for Mountainhead, Stephen Chopsky for Anonymous, Scott Derrickson for The Gorge, Michael Morris, Bridget Jones, Mad About the Boy, and Kyle Newacek for Happy Gilmore 2. Variety Talk Show News directors, Yvonne DeMare for Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Andy Fisher for Jimmy Kimmel Live, Beth McCarthy Miller for SNL 50, The Homecoming Concert, Liz Patrick for SNL 50, The Anniversary Special, Paul Penolino for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. Sports director, Matthew Gangley for the 2025 World Series, Stephen Milton 2025 Masters Tournament, Rich Russo for Super Bowl LIX. Can't remember which one that is. And finally, reality program directors, Lucinda M. Marvelous for Jeopardy, Adam Sandler for The Price is Right, and Max Mike Sweeney for Conan O'Brien Must Go. 78th Annual DGA Awards will take place on Saturday, February 7th. And there we go. Page 1 is done. No, I got to do deaths and anniversaries. Deaths, Lai Yuquin, Whispering of the Moon, died 23. I guess it's a director or actress or writer. Anniversaries, El Mariachi won the Sundance Audience Award 33 years ago this week. And the Batman TV show with Adam West and Burt Ward debuted 60 years ago this week. Yeah, I was bored at work again this week, so I wrote all my stuff on paper again. Man pays $4,000 for a date with a pop idol and her bodyguard. Learns that the bodyguard is actually her husband. It sucks, man. The reason the San Francisco 49ers seem to be perpetually injured, a new theory brought out there today or this week, was that it's due to the electrical substation that's located right next to the stadium that they practice at and where their locker rooms are and stuff like that. They believe that at the substations, the electrical stuff lets off as like an invisible sort of thing that weakens your muscles or whatever and causes the injuries to occur. So that's definitely something they're going to be looking into and see if that'll be in there. So they've just finished up Stranger Things to much applause, despite the Conformity Gate assholes who I just talked about 10 minutes ago. But the Duffer Brothers have a new project that's due to come out very soon. And it's got a great cast attached to it. It's called The Burrows. It's on Netflix, so it was in the works before they signed on with Max, I believe. Had to yawn. It stars Alfred Molina, Bill Pullman, Gina Davis, and Alfre Woodard as a group who band together at their retirement home to stop a monster who's trying to steal their time. That's a really interesting idea, and a fantastic cast of older actors is probably going to be just as phenomenal. The National Zoo in Washington welcomes the birth of 2 sloth bear cubs, first time in 13 years, so congratulations to them. New trailer for Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Gore Verbinski directed, and Sam Rockwell stars in it. Cross Season 2 debuts on February 11th on Prime. New trailer for Undertone, a A24 horror film, debuted this week. Didn't watch it, so can't tell you much about it. First look at Psycho Killer, the writer of Seven and Sleepy Hollow's new movie. Looks like a Psycho Killer movie. The Housemaid is actually has surprising legs at the box office. Could be because Sydney Sweeney spreads her legs, but that's besides the point. And she looks very good doing it, but that's besides the point again also. But a sequel is in the works based on the second book in the series, since it is a book series. Jackass 5 is set to return on June 26, 2026. We talked about how Sebastian Stan and Scarlett Johansson have joined the cast of the Batman 2. Well, Barry Keoghan's version of the Joker apparently is going to be making a return as well. And all I say about that is, oh my God, I'm so sick and tired of the fucking Joker. Can we just move on from that, please? Please. We don't need him every fucking Batman project. Recovery Agent adaptation has been purchased by Gal Gadot's production company. Don't know much about that, but it looks like something that might be a start for a franchise, maybe for her. A Star Wars horror TV show is in the works. I've been hearing about that for a while. It's just made its way back around now, so we'll see if it happens. The Pit, who's getting all the awards now, is the new one getting all the awards now, is set to get a 3rd season, just as the 2nd season just started. Superman, the Man of Tomorrow, has started pre-production, which means they're going to start filming it probably later this year. So it is set to come out next year. The 2027 Winter Classic, which is hockey's outdoor hockey game, supposed to be in cold climates in January, where you play hockey outside and not indoors as they used to in the old days, in the elements where it's like freezing cold. They played in Chicago, they played in Washington, they played, in Toronto, they played all over where it's nice and cold, and it's been great. Then they say, you know what? Let's make the Winter Classic happen in Florida this year, where it wasn't fucking cold. And it was just another fucking hockey game. Florida and hockey does not make any sense, despite the fact that the Hurricanes have won the Stanley Cup like the most this century. So, but good news. Good news, fans of the Winter Classic. The 2027 Winter Classic is going to be in Utah. Yes. So that's awesome, because that's exactly where you want these things to be. I'm not being sarcastic there. Utah is the perfect spot for the Winter Classic next year, particularly with their new team that just started last year, I think. Cherry Float Coke apparently is going to be replacing Coke Orange Cream, and that makes me very angry, because I really like orange cream, and it's just basically cherry vanilla Coke, which we've had before, which is mid at best. So we'll see. The Bluff, we get our first look at that. It's a new film with Carl Urban, Priyanka Chopra, and Tamara Morrison, set to debut on Prime on February 25th. The Actor Awards also got nominated this week. What are the fucking Actor Awards? Where the former SAG Awards, because they decided to change the name from the SAG Awards to the Actor Awards, which I think is another fucking stupid thing, but what do I know? So let's do Actor Award nominations. So fucking stupid. Got it. Move on. All right. Performance by a cast in a motion picture. The nominees are Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle for Another, and Sinners. Performance by a female actor in a leading role, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue, Chase Infinity for One Battle for Another, and Emma Stone for Begonia. Performance by a male actor in a leading role, Timothy Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle for Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, Jesse Plemons for Begonia. Performance by a female actor in a supporting role. The nominees are Odessa A. Zion for Marty Supreme, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners, and Teyana Taylor for One Battle for Another. Performance by a male actor in a supporting role. The nominees are Miles Caton for Sinners, Benicio del Toro for One Battle for Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Paul Mescal for Hamnet, Sean Penn, One Battle for Another. Performance by an ensemble in a comedy series, Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Only Murders in the Building, and The Studio. The Studio is winning that one. Performances by a female actor in a comedy series, Catherine Hahn for The Studio, Catherine O'Hara for The Studio, Jenna Ortega for Wednesday, Jean Smart Hacks, she's going to win. Kristen Wiig for Palm Royale. Performance by a male actor in a comedy series, Ike Barinholtz for The Studio, Adam Brody for Nobody Wants This, Ted Danson, A Man on the Inside, Seth Rogen for The Studio, he's going to win. Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building. Performance by an ensemble in a drama series, The Diplomat, Landman, The Pit, win. Severance, The White Lotus. Performance by a female actor in a drama series, Britt Lauer for Severance, Parker Posey for The White Lotus, Kerry Russell for The Diplomat, Rhea Seehorn for Pluribus, Amy Lou Wood for The White Lotus. Performance by a male actor in a drama series, Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, Billy Crudup for The Morning Show, Walton Goggins for The White Lotus, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Noah Wiley for The Pit. Performances by a female actor in a television movie or limited series, Claire Danes, The Beast in Me, Aaron Doherty for Adolescence, Sarah Snook for All Her Fault, Christine Tremarco for Adolescence, Michelle Williams for Dying for Sex. Performance by a male actor in a television movie or limited series, Jason Bateman, Black Rabbit, Owen Cooper, Adolescence, Stephen Graham, Adolescence, Charlie Hunnam for Monster the Ed Gein story. Matthew Rice, The Beast and Me. Action performance by a stunt ensemble in a motion picture. F1, Frankenstein, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, One Bow for Another, Sinners. Action performance by a stunt ensemble in a television series. Andor, Landman, The Last of Us, Squid Game, Stranger Things. And that is your actor awards nominations. SAG Awards. All right, lots of deaths here now. Randy McMillan, fullback for the Baltimore Colts, died this week. Danielle Scott Houghton, a BBC drama exec, was the one who helped bring about Peaky Blinders. She passed away this week. Sean Swayze, the brother of Patrick Swayze, passed away this week. Bob Poulford, Hockey Hall of Famer, died. Dick Dull, University of Maryland's former athletic director, passed away. Glenn Hall, a Hall of Fame hockey goalie, passed away this week as well. And anniversaries, Agent Carter debuted 11 years ago this week. And Leprechaun debuted 33 years ago this week. Leprechaun. Excuse me. March 3rd, my wife's birthday, is also when The Wild Robot comes to 4K, so I might have to pick that up. The Mask is rumored to join Fortnite. That's the Jim Carrey character based on a comic book, which would be kind of a fire skin if done properly. Mrs. Jones Baking is set to release Girl Scout cookie brownie kits and icing. They come in Thin Mints, coconut caramel, and lemon ups. Karen Gillan and Arthur Davrill are set to do a podcast where they rewatch Doctor Who, maybe just their version or all of it, I'm not sure. Casting underway for the Mr. Miracle animated series for the DCU. Bear enters a Quick Mart in Pine Creek at 6:30 a.m. and goes right to the hot dog roller and eats a bunch of hot dogs there. Kathleen Kennedy is out as the head of Lucasfilms. Chad Power Season 2 is set to start production now. Kristen Stewart says she would love to direct a Twilight reboot. Mexico keeps finding human remains near a World Cup host site in Guadalajara. Scientists have recovered tiny DNA left on Renaissance artifacts, including one suspected of being Leonardo da Vinci. So that could open up a whole new version of Jurassic Park, but this time with medieval artists and people like that. But that's still kind of crazy that they can still discover minute details of DNA on stuff that is thousands of years old, maybe hundreds of thousands of years old. Lego Smart Play is a brick that helps your creations come to life. It's a smart brick, so I guess it has some way to light things up or move things. I'm not exactly sure. Crumble Cookies is getting into the donut craze, so they're going to have some Crumble Cookie donuts coming up soon. The Lowdown with Ethan Hawke gets a second season. Cold Stone Creamery drops 2 Valentine flavors of ice cream, Berry Velvet and Falling in Chocolate, which is a great name, by the way. So keep an eye out for those. Because now that Christmas is over, the next holiday is Valentine's Day. I've already seen the Valentine's Day stuff in all the grocery stores, so why not Cold Stone Creamery? They did it. Those crazy fools actually did it. The Strangers Chapter 3 trailer debuted this week, and it's coming out this month. No one thought it would succeed because the first movie did okay, but not spectacular. The second one did shit, and yet they had the third one already set and planned out, so why not do it? I mean, you may as well just do that for Kevin Costner's Horizon. He already made the second film. May as well release that now, too, and then see if he can recoup the rest for his remaining 3 films. Oh, Bridgerton Queen chocolate sponge cake with ice cream and raspberry rose. I talked about that a little bit already. Despite the fact that everybody says that Fortnite is dying, Fortnite was the most played and most downloaded game on PlayStation and Xbox. First look at the Man on Fire series for Netflix, which I think is based on the Tony Scott, Denzel Washington movie. First look at Swapped, an animated film with Michael B. Jordan and Juno Temple. And it got me thinking about it. It was pictures of it. I'm assuming they're animated characters. One is like a land animal and one is like a crocodile. And I'm wondering if it's called Swapped, they're going to maybe body change, which has never really been done in an animated film. So have like a crocodile in the body of like a squirrel and a squirrel like in the body of a crocodile. Could be really kind of neat and interesting if that is indeed what the movie's about. Beef, which was the huge hit years ago, was a limited series on Netflix. Season 2 is set to debut on April 16th. Was originally going to have Anne Hathaway and Jake Gyllenhaal story, but they backed out at the last minute. So Oscar Isaac is in that one, by the way. We get our first look at Enola Holmes 3. Now that Billy Bobby Brown is done, I should say, Billy Bobby Bongiovanni is done. Her Stranger Things trek. She can go back to her Enola Holmes trek, which is a fun little series of movies that everyone loves, and Henry Cavill's in it as well. I should have named this episode Fat Pikachu because Fat Pikachu is set to return after 30 years. Apparently, it was a glitch in one of the games that everybody thought was really cute, so they're going to actually bring him back as a fat Pikachu. You know, Pikachu's about this big and it's kind of skinny. It's a bigger, fatter Pikachu. Jelly Roll, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Chrissy Teigen are set to be the new hosts of a new version of Star Search, which is going to be on Netflix. Work is work, I guess. Anniversaries. Nancy Kerrigan was attacked 32 years ago this week. For those who don't know that, back in 94, during the Winter Olympics, or lead up to it, all eyes were on the figure skating campaign. It was Tonya Harding and Nancy Kerrigan were two Americans who were going up against each other. Tonya Harding was a hard-driving, really good skater who was kind of poor and had trouble, but the fact that she clawed her way up to this position is amazing. But she also was kind of a redneck sort of person. And Nancy Kerrigan is your tall, beautiful, Snow White-esque sort of skater who is just as good, if maybe not better, than Tonya Harding. And Tonya Harding couldn't handle the fact that she might not be the best. So she made a mistake. She got her crazy ex-boyfriend to hire a hitman to take a baseball bat to Nancy Kerrigan's leg to break it so she could not compete in a figure skating competition. Unfortunately, I don't think she broke it. I think it was just injured. It took a while for it to recover. And Tonya Harding was turned over and she got arrested and all the stuff. And she flopped in the Olympics. And Nancy Kerrigan, I think, ended up winning in the end. But it was a huge story in 94, up there with the OJ trial as well. Different time, man. Different time. Clerks 2 debuted 20 years ago this week. Deaths: William Frederick Billy Truax, a former NFL player, died at the age of 82. And Michael Reagan, the adopted son of President Reagan, passed away this week as well. Oops, I forgot to do it as a D. Fallout Season 3 is set to start filming May 1st. This season 2 episode that was released on Wednesday really kicked up a notch. So it's definitely pretty good. The Whistle trailer, set to debut on February 6th, came out this week. A Japanese sushi chain paid $3.2 million for a bluefin tuna fish, I think was what it was, bluefin tuna fish, weighing 535 pounds. Wow. Must be damn good tuna then. $7 trailer, the new Agatha Christie thing coming to Netflix, came out this week. Death of Robin Hood trailer. I didn't watch it. That's the one where Hugh Jackman plays Robin Hood at the end of his life, and it turns out that the Robin Hood story was not exactly how we remember it. Alan Ritchson starts filming his Navy SEALs film for Sylvester Stallone's production company. Duck libraries make a splash in New York City. You know, you have your free book libraries where you go, people put books and you can go take one or leave one and don't need to return them. Apparently, they now have duck libraries where people have duck figurines, rubber ducks, stuffed ducks, whatever inside. You can grab one, add one, whatever. A new food pyramid from the moron-in-chief's health inspector flips the food pyramid back to the 1950s. Why not? That's what they want to go back to, saying that red meat and all that bullshit is what you need to eat instead of vegetables. So fuck off, you piece of shit dumbass. Tom Hanks was ranked as the greatest American actor of all time. He's up there. I don't know if he's truly the greatest American actor, but he's up there. He's really high up there. He could be number one. Brian De Palma is set to return to directing after a little hiatus with a movie called Sweet Vengeance. Pet care was added to the French curriculum to help children with learning to care for your pets as a way to help keep them alive. The beauty trailer, I think every week I mention that, but it's out. It keeps coming up. Chili lime mango peeps. Peeps, man, are starting to go too far sometimes, man. That just sounds disgusting. They Will Kill You trailer debuted this week as well. We had some weird stories, and then we get into a lot of deaths and anniversaries. On this page. Doctor sews a man's severed hand, or saved a man's severed hand by temporarily grafting it to his leg, keeping it alive until it could be reattached. So basically, the hand was off. They attached it to, I can't bring my leg up, attached it down here to the leg while they worked on the hand to readjust it and fix it up, and then ungrafted it, put it back on, and was able to reconnect everything. So that way it was still getting the blood and stuff like that. So just a weird picture of this hand down nearby a leg, which is like, wow, science is crazy. So that's interesting. That actually was really interesting. It's a really neat picture. I never heard of this person, but I guess it's a prophecy person. Baba Vanga predicts an alien spaceship will enter Earth's atmosphere this year, and there will be an outbreak of World War III as well. Wouldn't surprise me on that end, but the alien spacecraft, we'll see. I mean, 1996 was when Independence Day came out, and here we are 30 years later. Potentially, maybe aliens finally saw it. It's like, hey, man, we should do that. So, don't surprise me if that does happen. All right, the BAFTA long list, which I think are their nominations. Let's see if they have those up here. All right, the long lists. That's what I think they're called. Yeah, out of a total of 221 films submitted for consideration, the following films will advance to the nominating stage of voting. So these are not. No, I guess they are. They are the ones. So these are kind of the nominations. Ballad of Wallace Island, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, I Swear, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle for Another, Sentimental Value, Sinners. Outstanding British Film, 28 Years Later, Ballad of a Small Player, Ballad of Wallace Island, Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, The Chorale, Die My Love, Goodbye June, H is for Hawk, Hamnet, I Swear, Mr. Burton, Pillion, The Roses, Steve, and Warfare. Again, these are not the official nominations. These are the ones that you can nominate. Out of all these that are on the long list, these will be 5 of each probably will be picked for the nominees, and then one of them will win. Astounding debut by a British writer, director, or producer. The Ceremony, The Man in My Basement, Mother Vera, My Father's Shadow, Pillion, Ocean with David Attenborough, The Shadow Scholars, Urchin, A Wanton Her, Waste Man. Children's and family films, Arco, Boone, Elio, Grow, How to Train Your Dragon, Lilo and Stitch, Little Emily, Zootropolis 2. Zootopia 2 is what I think it's supposed to be. Film not in English language. It Was Just an Accident, La Grazia, Left-Handed Girl, No Other Choice, Nouvelle Vague, Rental Family, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Surat, and the voices of Hind Rajab. Documentary 2,000 Meters to Andrivka, Apocalypse in the Tropics, Becoming Led Zeppelin, Cover Up, The Librarians, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, Ocean with David Attenborough, 1-to-1, John and Yoko, The Perfect Neighbor, and Riefenstahl. Animated film, Arco, The Bad Guys 2, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Infinity Castle, Elio, Little Emily, and Zootopia 2. So no K-pop Demon Hunters here. Directors, Begonia, Yorgos Lanthimos, Die My Love, Lynn Ramsey, Hamnet, Chloe Zhao, A House of Dynamite, Catherine Bigelow, Marty Supreme, Josh Safdie, One Bow for Another, Paul Thomas Anderson, Rental Family, Hikari, Sentimental Value, Joachim Trier, Sinners, Ryan Coogler, the voice of Hind Rajab, Karu Ben Hania. Original screenplay, Blue Moon, A House of Dynamite, I Swear, Is This Thing On? It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme. Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, Weapons. Adapted screenplay, 28 Years Later. The Ballad of Wallace Island, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Nuremberg, One Battle for Another, Pillion, Train Dreams, Wake Up Dead Man, and Knives Out Mystery. Now, the reason why Wake Up Dead Man and 28 Years Later are part of adapted screenplay is because even though they're technically original stories, they are featuring characters from previous movies and storylines, so it's an adaptation. It makes sense. Leading actress, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Cynthia Erivo, Wicked for Good, Kate Hudson, Song Song Blue, Chase and Vindy, One Battle for Another, Jennifer Lawrence, Die My Love, Renate Reneves for Sentimental Value, Andrea Riseborough for Dragonfly, Emma Stone for Begonia, Tessa Thompson for Hedda. Lead actor, Robert Amaru for I Swear, Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme, Russell Crowe, Nuremberg, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Bow for Another, Joel Edgerton, Train Dreams, Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, Harry Melling, Pillion, Cillian Murphy for Steve, and Jesse Plemons for Begonia. Supporting actress, Odessa Azione for Marty Supreme, Brenda Blethyn for Dragonfly, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, Inga Ibsdafter Lilias, Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan, Weapons, Wunmi Musaku for Sinners, Carey Mulligan, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Gwyneth Paltrow, Marty Supreme, Teyana Taylor, One Battle for Another, and Emily Watson for Hamnet. Supporting actor, Benicio del Toro, One Battle for Another, Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo, Sinners, Paul Mescal, Hamnet, Peter Mullen, I Swear, Sean Penn, One Battle for Another, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly, Andrew Scott for Blue Moon, Alexander Skarsgård for Pillion, Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Casting, Frankenstein, Hamnet, A House of Dynamite, I Swear, Marty Supreme, One Battle for Another, Pillion, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Surat. Cinematography, Ballad of a Small Player, Begonia, Die My Love, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle for Another, Sinners, Train Dreams. Costume design, Begonia, Downtown Abbey, the grand finale, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Nouvelle Vague, Nuremberg, One Battle for Another, Sinners, Wicked for Good. Editing, 28 Years Later, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, A House of Dynamite, Marty Supreme, One Battle for Another, Sinners, Weapons. Makeup and hair, Begonia, Downton Abbey, the grand finale, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle for Another, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, Wicked for Good. Original score, 28 years later, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Nuremberg, One Battle for Another, Sinners, Wicked for Good. Production design, Ballad of a Small Player, Begonia, The Fantastic Four, First Steps, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, Mickey 17, One Battle for Another, Sinners, Wicked for Good. Special visual effects, Avatar, Fire and Ash, F1, Frankenstein, How to Train Your Dragon, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, Mickey 17, Superman, Tron, Ares, Wicked for Good. Sound, Avatar, Fire and Ash, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, The Lost Bus, Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning, One Battle for Another, Sinners, Warfare, Wicked for Good. British short animation, Brain Space, Cardboard, Death's Peak, Overreacting. I like that one. Solstice, Two Black Boys in Paradise. British short film. That's the last one. 22+1, Biondi, Magritte, Zafar, Neil Armstrong and the Long Holmites, Nostalgia, The Pearl Comb, Terrence. This is Endometriosis. Welcome Home, Freckles, Wonderwall. Those are some wild names. Neil Armstrong and the Langholmites. And this is Endometriosis. That's an awesome. These are awesome titles. So there's your BAFTAs. Yes, highly British because it's British Film Awards. So there's that. Also, now our deaths and anniversaries on this page. Deaths, we have Dave Rosen, co-founder of Sega. He died at the age of 95. Craig Icare, Icare, an African elephant, died at the age of 54 years old. Ava Schloss, the stepsister of Anne Frank, passed away this week. Michael Schumacher, a biographer, was biographer of Francis Ford Coppola, Eric Clapton, and also wrote a story about Great Lakes Rex. Brett Hanna Shintel died. He was a Broadway actor. Grandma Giant, a Galapagos tortoise, died, was 142 years old. Damn, Grandma. Doug LaMalfa, Republican congressman, died this week. Bela Tarr, Hungarian filmmaker, died this week as well. And Stanley Kubrick, not Kubrick, Stanley Kubrick, the last featured Our Gang player, died at the age of 97. He played like Weasel or something like that was his name, one of the Our Gangs. Anniversaries. Jimmy Hoffa disappeared 50 years ago this week. How about that? Still no idea where he is. Hi, Pepper. There's my kitty boy. And Amazing Stories debuted 41 years ago this week. That's my kitty boy. On my last page here, you see my kitty boy? There he is. Speaking of cats, I got this one right here. CIA tried to use the cats to listen in to enemy conversations. They gave implants to the cats so that they could record any conversations that they heard from their enemies and stuff like that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why don't you sit up here? Oh, yeah, why don't you sit up here? Whoa. There you go, big boy. Why don't you sit up there? Or not. Yes, the final 10, 15 minutes of the show is going to be all about Pepper. McDonald's is being hit with a class action suit saying that the McRib does not actually contain any rib meat. So that's interesting for fans of the McRib. I can't read my writing when I have a kitty on it. Oh boy. Sorry, I love my kitty boy. Oof, there you go. Oofda. Is Colin Turner the next James Bond? There have been some rumors. He's been on the short list. They said that he's been interviewed really well. So we shall find out soon enough. Man sold ads on his wedding suit. 26 people actually paid for ads and paid for his entire wedding. This is some weird ass shit. Mr. Bubble. Do you remember Mr. Bubble? It was a bubble bath from like the 1980s and 90s that had a very bubble gum-esque smell to it. So you smelled like bubble gum after you were in the bubble bath. And it was amazing. And you had to contain yourself from eating or drinking the bubbles because it smelled like bubble gum, but it wasn't. It was soap. Well, they have decided Mr. Bubble has teamed up with somebody to create Mr. Bubble bubblegum flavored soda. So it's going to have the Mr. Bubble logo on it, and it's going to be bubblegum soda using, they say, sort of the similar scent that was used for the Mr. Bubble as the flavor for the soda. Going from that to a better idea for a soda, we already have cherry ginger ale, we have blackberry ginger ale, we have cranberry ginger ale, we have regular ginger ale, and we have lemon lime ginger ale. Let's add strawberry ginger ale to that. Canada Dry is releasing a strawberry ginger ale. It has already been released in like Costco exclusive 24 packs of ginger ale before. But they're finally going to release the strawberry ginger ale to the populace. Sorry, I gotta love my kitty. Thank you. I'll put it down here, okay? So that can be pretty interesting, and I definitely, once it does come out, I will grab it and we will try it here on the show. I remember this. DC Superhero Girls used to be, hello, Pepper. DC Superhero Girls used to be one of my daughter's favorite things. They were graphic novels, and they were, I think there's like cartoon movies that were made of them, and they were dolls, like Barbie dolls made of them. So it was like, your Wonder Womans and Starfires and all your sort of female Batgirls and stuff like that. My daughter has a bunch of the whoa. Of the DC Superhero Girl dolls and graphic novels. Well, a new DC Superhero Girls graphic novel is being released this year. She's outgrown it, obviously, but still kind of interesting. Gordon Ramsay is set to be in Fortnite. These collabs are just starting to get a little crazy here. Idris Elba's Hijack gets a season 2, and we get a season 2 trailer. Season 2 is supposed to debut later this year. Denmark, which keeps making more and more of a case for me to want to move there because it's such an awesome place, makes its police officers play Fortnite to help police children. That way, any children that may be getting bullied or other things that have been happening online lately, the police are on there and they're keeping an eye on things and making their presence sort of felt, so that if someone feels uncomfortable, that they can get invited to a game where this is going on and they can try to catch the people who are involved with it, sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool. Reportedly, major gangs talked about the shooting of the woman in Minnesota by the ICE agents. Reportedly, major gangs in Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York City are agreeing to truces to defend their cities and people against the Gestapo that's coming our way. Going from bad news, well, it's not bad news. It's good that the gangs are putting aside their duties to help protect the United States, but some really good news. Godzilla Point 1 was a fantastic Godzilla movie that came out, 2 years ago, something like that. My son loved it. I loved it. It's one of the best. It won an Oscar. It's phenomenal. The director has decided has been working on a sequel, and we've been waiting with bated breath to find out when it's coming out. It's coming out this year. Yes. Godzilla. Where is it? Godzilla Point Zero is set to debut in America on November 6th, 2026. It's supposed to debut in Japan 3 days earlier on the 3rd. So I'm really excited for that. Steel trailer. Sophie Turner has a new series on Prime before she goes to work on Tomb Raider. Pillsbury is coming up with frozen mini bagels, which will have cream cheese filling on the inside. Also, Eggo has created cookies and cream and cinnamon roll waffles for their frozen aisle as well. Jay and Silent Bob will be back for a third movie called Jay and Silent Bob's Store Wars. We've heard kind of Kevin Smith has been talking about this for a little bit. It's finally been officially approved and is going to go into production here soon. But we sort of know what the storyline centered about is that Jay and Silent Bob have turned the old Clerks mini mart and video store into a place that sells legal marijuana. I forget the name of that stuff, a repository or something like that. They are running the company, and then another weed shop opens up down the block from them and causes their traffic and their sales to drop. So they go to war to try to stop and get their stuff back. It sounds like a neat idea, and we'll watch to see how it goes out there. All right. Des Albert Penniless launched the original Xbox. Jay Tricken, bodybuilder, Jane Trucker, bodybuilder and scary movie actress, passed away this week. An Sung-ki, Korea's national actor, died at the age of 74. Bob Weir, the co-founder of the Grateful Dead, passed away at the age of 78 today, actually Saturday, since it is now officially Sunday. Tina Packer, a Doctor Who actress, passed away this week. Guy Moon, a cartoon music composer, died in a traffic accident this week. And T.K. Carter, an actor, passed away this week. He was in The Thing, and I recognize him from Seems Like Old Times, but let's see what else. He's been in a bunch of stuff, apparently. So, T.K. Carter. He was in 2 episodes of Good Times. He was in Corvette Summer, Young Blood. Seems Like Old Times. I was right. Okay. The Thing, Carpool, Dr. Detroit, Punky Brewster for 24 episodes. Jem was a voice in Transformers as Rocksteady. Was in Amazon Women on the Moon. Was in Good Morning Miss Bliss for 13 episodes. Ski Patrol. Rage in Harlem, Family Matters for 1 episode, Different World for 1 episode, The Sinbad Show, he was in 24 episodes. What a Cartoon, he was in 3 episodes. Space Jam, he was in an episode, or he was in that. The Steve Harvey Show was in 4 episodes. Moesha 1 episode. Gregory Hines Show 1 episode. The Nanny 1 episode. NYPD Blue 1 episode. The Corner, yeah, Baltimore based 6 episodes. He was a main character in that one. Domino, Everybody Hates Chris, Love That Girl, How to Get Away with Murder, the Bobby Brown Story, Stumptown, The Way Back, Dave, a TV show, 5 episodes, and The Company You Keep, 3 episodes. So he had a decent career. You would probably recognize him if you saw him. The minute I saw his picture, I was like, it's the dude from Seems Like Old Times, which is where I know him from most. So I'll see if there's anything else dropping in here before I get to the finale. Nope. All right. Anniversaries. Fraggle Rock debuted 43 years ago this week. I remember Fraggle Rock. I watched it when it debuted on HBO. It was fantastic. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle debuted 34 years ago this week. That's the original one with Rebecca De Mornay, which is one of my early crushes. The Impossible with Tom Holland and Naomi Watts. debuted 14 years ago. It was the film about the tsunami that hit in early 2000s. So it was made shortly after that happened. And Night Court, the original one, debuted 42 years ago this week. The new Night Court is been bought by Netflix and will be shown on Netflix, I think, either now or in February. So I might have to get caught up on that because I didn't watch it when it was originally on. And it's on a cliffhanger, so maybe they could create a new season if it does well in ratings to close it out. All right, we're down to the final page of work here. It doesn't get any better, particularly two stories here. Let's see. I need to find a good ending story. There really is no really good. We'll do that one as last story. Why not? So that'll be the last story. The last story I have on my page will be our last story of the night. The Astra Awards. This is kind of interesting. It's a sci-fi and horror one. We will read the winners of that because there's a very interesting story when it comes to the Astra Awards. They are, I guess, like science fiction. 9th Annual Astra Film Awards. Supernatural. It's sort of focuses on like science fiction and stuff like that. Well, maybe not so much, but well, I'll let you know here. Here's a complete list of the winners. Best Motion Picture Drama was Sinners. No, because I'm looking at the list. It was a bunch of the movies you've already seen. So I guess the actual awards are just another award program. Best Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, One Battle After Another. Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama, Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture Drama, Amy Madigan for Weapons. She's looking to probably win it all. Best Actor in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme. Best Actress in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, Amanda Seyfried for The Testament of Anne Lee. Best Supporting Actor in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, Adam Sandler for Jay Kelly. Best Supporting Actress in a Motion Picture Comedy or Musical, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good. Best Adapted Screenplay, One Battle After Another. Best Original Screenplay, Sinners. Best Book to Screen Adaptation, The Housemaid. Best Director, Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Best Cast Ensemble, Sinners. Best Animated Feature, why not? K-Pop Demon Hunters. Best Voiceover Performance, Arden Cho for K-Pop Demon Hunters. Best Horror or Thriller Feature, Weapons. Here's the key. Here is the one that surprised everybody. Best Performance in a Horror or Thriller went to Indy the Dog for Good Boys, the first animal ever to win a Best Performance in a Horror Thriller in the Astra Awards or for anything. He was going up against Ethan Hawke for Black Phone 2, Alison Brie for Together, Alfie Williams for 28 Years Later, Sally Hawkins for Bring Her Back, and Sophie Thatcher for Companion. Indy the Dog won an Astra Award for Good Boy. That's awesome. I love that. Best Action or Science Fiction Feature, Superman. They get an award. Good job. Best Documentary, The Perfect Neighbor. That seems to be the odds-on favorite. Best International Feature, Sentimental Values up there, along with The Secret Agent, are the two that are going to be best looked at. The Sentimental Value won that one. Best Indie Feature, Twinless. Best First Feature, Sorry Baby. Best Original Score, Sinners by Ludwig Göransson. Best Song, of course, Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters. Best Young Performer, Jacoby Juppe for Hamnet. And that's it. I kind of like the Astra Awards. They've only been around for 9 years, though. But the fact that a dog won the award for Best Performance in a Horror Thriller is freaking awesome. Some sports ball stuff. Actually, no, let's skip that. Nia DaCosta is set, or it's not set to, but wants to direct a live-action version of the comic book / animated show Invincible. That's sports stuff. The writer of K-Pop Demon Hunters has been tasked to write an adaptation of Attack of the 50-Foot Woman for Tim Burton, which is going to be his next film. The Wrecking Crew trailer set to debut on January 28th. I actually watched that one. It looked really, really good. It's Jason Momoa and the guy who played Drax. I can't think of his name right now. Who are brothers who are in Hawaii, and their father was killed, and they are going up against ninjas and stuff like that. It's like an action buddy film, but they're brothers, and it looks really, really good. Emma McKay is set to join Molly Gordon in the A24 comedy Peaked. Michelle Randolph is set to lead the film Something Through the Snow, Climbing Through the Snow. School Spirit Season 3 trailer debuted this week. Live action Scooby-Doo series for Netflix is set to start filming in April. Black Mirror gets an 8th season. Wednesday Season 3 is set to start filming in February of 2026. And the Burbs trailer, the show on Prime, set to debut February 8th. That is a remake of the Tom Hanks, Joe Dante film. Gets the trailer. It was okay. Now we get into the sports ball stuff first. University of Miami, the U, will be taking on Indiana for the national championship. Matt Ryan, the Matty Ice quarterback, drafted by the Atlanta Falcons, played for them his entire career, lost the Super Bowl where they were up 28-3 to Tom Brady, is now said to be president of football operations for the Falcons. So he's the big boss. Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball, decided to announce some stupid things. One thing that's not quite so stupid, but could still be kind of meh, is he wants to expand the league to 32 teams, which is fine, I guess. But here's the thing. He said he wants to do a split season and have an in-game tournament or in-season tournament, which what the NBA has decided to do, which is ridiculous anyway. I mean, why would you play half a season, stop for like a month, do the stupid tournament, maybe not a month, like for a week or two, do the stupid tournament, and then come back and play a second half of the season. It doesn't make any sense to me. No one gives a rat's ass about it. It will ruin the flow. It ruined the flow of the NBA, and it will ruin the flow for baseball. So no, let's not do that. Now the bad stuff. Timothy Busfield, actor who's been in a bunch of stuff from the 80s and 90s and 2000s, is facing charges of sex abuse of minors. And Daniel Stern, he of the Home Alone and Diner and a few other stuff as well, City Slickers, has been picked up for soliciting a prostitute, which isn't as bad as sex abuse of a minor, but still it's an issue. Before we do the last one of the year, last one of the week, I should say. Anniversary, The Relic debuted 29 years ago this week, a horror film with Penelope Ann Miller and Tom Sizemore, which I saw in the movie theater, kind of creepy, but other than that, not much else to it. And Yasin Jimenez, a Colombian singer, died in a plane crash on Saturday. So the final story for this week, Van Leeuwen Ice Cream will be doing 3 Dr. Seuss-inspired flavors, including Swirly Whirly Blue Thing, Double Trouble Berry Thing, and Hats Off Sunday Special. So, Swirl. So it looks to be based on the Cat in the Hat, but it's pretty interesting that they're doing Doctor Who inspired ice cream. All right, I got nothing else. Not as good as last week's episode, but still fun nonetheless. Thank you to the 94 people who watched my show last week because of my Stranger Things title. I'm hoping I get the same sort of involvement with the Conformity Gate title and get see me mock the Conformity Gate a-holes. They're probably not going to like it very much, but oh well. But yeah, that's episode 641 in the box, in the bin. We are done. Next week, I don't know. Gotta go.